In Africa, we have seen so much change that change has become meaningless. It's no longer change, but merely turmoil. This group getting rid of that group, and that group doing worse than the group it got rid of. Now, please, I do not count us in that category of people.
At the time, many listened to him and believed that he meant what he said, and thus made him one of the most loved presidents Uganda had ever had.
And bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
Oh my God. I loved him. I loved Museveni. President Museveni, yes, I loved him. You know, I was in the first cohort that he graduated in 1987. Our graduation day was 23rd January 1987.
President Museveni was under pressure to reintroduce elections in order to demonstrate that his administration was not a military state.
We will now hand over the copy to the Chief Justice.
To do this, he had to set a legal regime to ensure good governance. This led to the 1995 Constitution, which consists of 288 sections divided into 19 chapters. Between the many pages and syntaxes were crucial chapters that were introduced by the framers to avoid a return to the past troubles. One of the chapters is Chapter 19 on term limits, and the Constitution then stated, Article 105, Tenure of Office of a President. 1. A person elected president under this Constitution shall, subject to Clause 3 on this article, hold office for a term of 5 years. 2. A person shall not be elected under this Constitution to hold office as president for more than 2 terms, as prescribed by this Article 3.
Do you want to limit it? What should it be? They said we want it first term. He does well, or no, because we can't lose somebody who does well. We go to the second term. You say after the second term, whether he has done well or badly, at least somebody else, 10 years are enough.
NTV spoke to several delegates who participated in the formulation and promulgation of the 1995 Constitution. Professor Sempebwa was on the commission, which was charged with the responsibility to consult the public and other stakeholders on various provisions of the Constitution.
Was it the demand of Ugandans or it was the demand of the regime at the time?
It was a demand of Ugandans. The demand of Ugandans because we were fed up with they hadn't seen change. They wanted to have peaceful change. And they didn't use that language of term limits. Many of them didn't. But they were saying there must be a system whereby leaders change.
And President Museveni was one of the people who were consulted during the process.
President Museveni repeated what he had said at the very beginning.
When he was swearing.
That the program of Africa was leaders who overstayed.
Did you really see he was serious or he just wanted you to be happy?
Well, as far as my recollection was, he was genuine.
In the past, there was a proposal to have term limits for even members of parliament, but this was later dropped.
The difference was made that fine, at least members of parliament are many, and for them, they are more susceptible to be changed by the vote than the president because of his power of incumbency. People have been used to president as a superpower, someone who is at the top.
But why were term limits introduced in Uganda?
The term limit was going to be foundational in the sense of creating stability and certainty in the politics of the country. Because we knew that at whatever age anybody became a president of the country, whether they became presidents at 30 or at 70 or at whatever, as long as they could not do more than two terms, That would be the most critical limitation. And if it is adhered to, it creates certainty.
As you can see, the political party and the government are the same. And they have all the machinery to stay in power.
We set to cure governance, dictatorship. We set to cure change of government, change of power through the gun. And we thought that that article secured democracy for generations to come.
As fate would have it, legislators of the time did not treat this important article with the importance it deserved.
Which we were never entrenched. Entrenched means we make sure it is difficult to change a particular provision in the Constitution. Very difficult. That will be necessary.
How difficult would you make it? How difficult? Just a referendum? Because they have the money, they have everything, they can get the numbers through a referendum.
Well, you can, but at least if you require usual 2/3 majority, you require 2/3 of districts, things of that nature. It's not easy.
If we had a parliament of 300, 2/3 would be 200. It didn't occur to me that you could raise 200 educated people to amend the constitution in regard to something like that, except a verb like that. And we had seen countries where it failed, many countries in Africa where they attempted it and it failed. I misread, I must admit, I completely misread the political class in this country.
And of course, when we didn't understand everything that was contained in the Constitution, we understood that never again will we be compelled to change power through the bullet. And so we thought we had secured the ballot.
We asked current Chief Justice Owinyidolo what he had to say about this.
And I've said it before, I'll repeat today. How could we, especially the lawyers, be so foolish? How could we be lulled into not strengthening provisions for term limit? We left it as any other provision of the Constitution. And that's why it was easy for Parliament to remove term limits. It was easy for Parliament to remove age limits. We did not secure it. We did not provide that for this, you must go for a referendum. Even when Parliament thinks it is time to amend, go back to the people. We did not.
Nobody. There was no discussion. 2 terms, yes, 2 terms. American uses 2 terms. That was it. There was no. I want reasoning, but now, if you brought it, I would be able to reason with you, because I've seen when somebody stays in power for a long time, the mistakes they cause, and they think because of the amount of power they have, they begin to think they are demigods.
The recent marriage again of convenience
UPC and the DP.
between UPC and DP. Of course, it happened in 1980.
Former delegates Mugisha Muntu and Miriam Matembe were part of the Chankwanzi meeting where President Museveni met the district leaders and a decision was made to remove term limits. Critics say that the removal of term limits has instead left many capable Ugandans with limited chances of capturing power. A president in Kenya and Tanzania can only rule for 2 terms, even if he or she is overwhelmingly loved. That looks like an impossible dream in Uganda. Sudil Biarhanga, NTV.